Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Check one, check two. This is how we do this podcast. Welcome to the Cannabis Coffee Hour with your host, me, Rob Cantrell, coming to you live from an undisclosed area somewhere in Brooklyn, New York. I'm here, I'm out there. I have a great spliff for this episode. I've been looking forward to doing this all day. And I got a new drink I'm excited to sample on. We've done a few, but this is just some kombucha, everybody. I went hard on the gut this morning. We're into the afternoon. Sometimes coffee in the afternoon when you went hard on the gut earlier in the day kind of funks you out. So I switched it up and I got a really good bottle and I popped it. This is called raw kombucha Synergy. This is Gingerberry. And the thing about kombucha, it does have that seltzer. It has that fizz. That's what everybody's all about, seltzer. Okay, I've been fucking with seltzer for like 20 years now. I was rocking seltzer. I gave up Coca-Cola a long time ago. All Coca-Cola is some seltzer with some brown fucking weird sugar that was probably cocaine 100 years ago. Oh man. It's got the bubbles. This is Gingerberry, and my gut's kind of rocking. I ate some leftover tacos that were in the fridge. I thought I was dressing it up because I had this mean green salsa. You know, in the last episode, I was talking to Frankie, my man Creep from Cholo Fitness. Shout out to the West Coast during these awful fires, man. You know, everything. There's a lot of tension in the LBC and around the world. I really just want to give you a place where to kind of just, you know, just slow it down, man. Because I really do think we have all the answers if we just slow it down a little bit. And all this ramping up and growing and getting bigger and richer and all of it doesn't seem to be helping. I mean, I need to get richer. That's true. Once you get a family and kids, the money, you got to get money. Not too much. Like, I don't want to sell my soul, whatever that means. But you kind of know what I mean, and I know what I mean. I kind of want to still try to be the me to my most core, and I'm still learning who I am. I have to say, man, I really like getting older. I mean, a lot of it, there is some drama, man. There is some serious stress, look into the abyss, oh my God, what does it all mean type moments. And that's always been there. But there's also a sense of just not being caught up in the hype. Speaking of, I rolled a nice spliff. I mean, I have a great glass chillum. It's a one-hitter, but it's a really good chillum. I got like 3 of them, and I interchange them, and I clean them out. But they're just like these big blasts of cannabis, whereas I do like me a good spliff. Now, this is rolled with a raw paper. We have a raw filter, and I got this, I'm still smoking this amazing weed, which is called the Holy Grail OG. And it's a hybrid. You can look it up, but the Holy Grail is an offspring of the multiple ward flower OG 18. That's OG Kush, kosher Kush. Most of the praise centers around the potency. But this strain produces more of a mellow relaxation, okay, we can go with that, than the melt your face off sensation. That's true that this name might suggest. Kush has always been kind of a melt your face off, like you can really get stuck if you get some powerful Kush. But this is kind of a strain, it's called the OG Kush, the Holy Grail OG. What I liked about it was just the packaging literally has a Monty Python picture. it's still, kind of East Coast. I know a dude. But even your dude has become more inept in terms of packaging. It's just really complex, citrusy. But then I went out and at the legal CBD store, don't buy your CBD you got to find out where they're getting it from, who's making it, what's it all about. And I did get this great Hawaiian sativa CBD strain. I bought a joint of it, and the joint was $11 for this big CBD. But I looked at the strain, and I talked to the guy. It was grown outdoors. It was actually, he was honest. It was in a farm in Buffalo. I guess they're growing. Like this podcast, cannabis legalization and mainstream acceptance of cannabis has gotten more and more prevalent in terms of even the government's getting involved. Like Chuck Schumer tweeted out that it's time to legalize cannabis. So he's, this is, the nation is ready for it. And everybody's just waiting for New York to turn over. But New York is just, man, New York is great. I love you, New York. You're the best. But you are a stress, man. It's not the easiest town to be a stoner in, but let's fire this up. Let me taste this well, and the roll went good. I don't want to get cocky with my rolls. My rolls is a lot like my bowling game and my dart game and my putt-putt game. It's like, those are the three types of sports. Like, if you have one or two beers, if you get loose, you could, sometimes I'm just rolling like a champ, and sometimes I'm like, what am I even doing with my life? But I'm not like that right now. I'm mostly just kicking back. We're going back to the old lavalier straight up. I want to make the sound really good, and I really hope the sound comes out. And I remember those earlier episodes when I used this microphone. It came out really good. And I had to get a new Mac, and I got all this new stuff. But I still haven't gotten these converter cables for a new camera. I had a guest, and we were going back and forth. I got some new guests coming up. I'm just giving you a little inside line. So keep on supporting and liking and spreading the word about the Cannabis Coffee Hour, because we're growing, and we're getting funky. Funky hit records. So yeah, where you start the joint. I was going to start it before the episode because I didn't want to take that time to light it. And, but it lit. In the beginning of the joint, you got to do the most work in terms of getting it firing. But now, man, I had a lot of just stress in my gut, and I think it was a lot of taco meat. Uh-oh. Hope I didn't set myself on fire. You know when you fire these spliffs up the first time, but it's going now. But I have to get it going, so there's like, chum, 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 kind of like firing up the cigar. But it pulls great. So this is half full CBD flower and then half Holy Grail. I wouldn't say half. I had my grinder. I grounded up the good pot. You could tell like the really good pot is just like super green. Like this Kush is just like, it's a salsa verde. You know what I'm saying? It's like super. You can just know it's like high-end, high-powered herb. But then I mixed it with the CBD, which was like, the guy said it was from Buffalo. I mean, it was really good joint. It's a legal spot. It's rolled, it was in, it was a part of town where it was like all hippies and yuppies and whatever. Like, they're not going to buy bad bunk CBD. That's the only thing is when you go to I'm a fan of it. I don't need it all the time, but I could tell when I mix my CBD herb with this regular herb, I do feel like getting shit done. This was like a really powerful sativa. So it's kind of like I'm tripping, but I still can do a things to do list. Oh man. No, that tasted good. Yeah, the Synergy Raw Kombucha Gingerberry. There's something really good about ginger in the afternoon, especially if you've had a lot of. It was traffic. It's just kind of weird out there because society's trying to open back up. Uh-oh, the joint went out. That's when you know it's kind of good. Society's opening back up, but nobody really knows, and it's not really, it just feels like we're all playing scrimmages. Like we're all just trying to go through the motions. I did do a comedy show the other night, and I got some promo shots taken for my website. Look for a whole new revamp of my website, baby. It's coming on. And I will be doing stand-up. Like, I went out and I did a spot, and I'm not going to get cocky, but it felt good. Like, there was a part of me like, oh, am I going to be any good? Did I lose it? Because I really did just, like, walk away. Sometimes it's good to walk away from the love. It's good to, whatever you're doing, if it's creative, like that constant, that's a lot of what all of this has been teaching me. That constant working at it sometimes isn't the healthiest, and you're not going to go as far as sometimes taking a break. And looking at it from a different angle. And I did have a lot of bottled up stress, and man, there's something about the joint which I find just so much satisfaction in these days, especially with these raw papers and especially with the filter. And I kind of like my own, I just been rolling in Jamaica and rolling on the road, and I kind of have my own style of roll, and it's kind of like big, it's kind of coney, but it's a good style for the amount of herb that I want, which is a lot at the top of the joint and towards the, I guess that's how all cones, like towards the end, you want it to slow down and maybe last a couple different parts of the afternoon. But now, yeah, I've just taken it slow and it's just burning good on this, and it's not too powerful, but I still want to talk because it has the CBD and it has the sativa. It was a Hawaiian strain, and I will have to say, man, the best pot I ever smoked was Hawaiian. I don't know where that guy got it. And it may be just something that I dreamed up in my head and glorified, but I don't know. I still remember how it tasted in my chest, and it felt like just gold in terms of like sun. And when I hit really good pot, it's more about the nature. It's like kissing nature on the face. Not that nature's everything, but looking at things from, I'm just trying to look at things from a more natural place. I think so much in life with comedy and show business, I mean, I think we all feel that way. It's like you're always fighting off the back foot, meaning like you're always up against, and you're always, like, it's nice to hit things square on. And that's where I'm finding, the pandemic and the time at home has been helping me, because I had a lot of loose phrase here and there with whatever my system is in terms of doing stand-up, raising a family, trying to stay healthy, I'm getting near 50, all these things that aren't negative, they're actually super positive. I love all of them. But it's nice to, I can't afford to run on my back foot in terms of fight on my back foot, like in terms of tackling situations or, things that are coming at me. I want to be square on. Now, you're never going to be too square on, and you're never going to be in full control. And a lot of it's just letting go and letting things happen, and then controlling your reaction to those things. and just, the habits of negative thinking are always there. And they hit me in the morning. That's where I do. But then I find myself doing a lot of waking bacon, which means, getting up and smoking weed and then going back to sleep, which is always fun and nice, but it makes the afternoon smoke sessions not as good. If you can, the best thing is to hold off until you got a lot of your shit done. Because that morning time is weird. I do like getting up and smoking a little bit. And I think even just a little hit is nice. Because that morning time between like 9 and 11, there's a lot of variables going on. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of change. But there's a lot of tension because people are going to work, getting from work, rushing back home from work. But they're starting things up. Like wherever they're going, they're pushing the energy, pushing whatever energies. And what I've found, if I'm like, I'll wake up angry a lot, man. I wake up angry. I don't go to bed angry. You gotta never do that. Like, that's not a good thing. But in your youth, you're just full of so much ego. Like, even the last few years, I've learned, like, in my mind, I haven't been meditating, so my mind has been chattering a bit. And you just have to go back, like, that chatter is just bullshit. All that is bullshit. Like, you could shut that on and off like a switch. It's hard. It's a practice. But, a lot like pull-ups or sit-ups, like the more you do it, the more, and then you get to a point where you want to do it, and then you get to a point where you don't even think about doing it. I think that's like the gig I'm trying to get to, that everything has helped me with taking this time off, is just slowing down and looking at the material that I have, asking myself, why am I doing this? What is this is actually saying? So I'm doing that more. And I've just been away from my stand-up comedy material. But I had this set the other night, and it was in Brooklyn, and it was at a venue, but they had an outdoor bar area. And I had my mask on, and I even put like this microphone condom on the mic. It was a crowd of maybe 14, so it wasn't like a big crowd, and it was in an outdoor space, but it was like the back of a bar, outdoor yard type vibe, slow weekend night. It was a lot of like single people that were sick of looking at their apartment. That's what it seemed like. It seemed like a lot of people are needing other people. That's the vibe I got. I don't. I mean, I got my family, and I'm a loner as is, but I do get that you do need it sometimes, and you do need just to see another alive, a person. Just because of comedy, I'm always out there and running around and doing shit, which is the good thing about it. Because there's a lot of people that don't even have that, and they're not running around and doing shit, and they're literally looking at the same wall that they looked at for the last 15 years. As we all, I mean, I'm looking at a wall right now I've looked at the last 3. But it felt like the crowd, like I just had a good set. I had one of those sets, like, oh man, I'm good. I'm not, I could still do stand-up comedy. Like, it was a good set, people laughed. But I don't want to make this a podcast all about stand-up comedy. I wanted to make this about synergy, raw kombucha. But it came together, and then I got out of there. I didn't hang out. Society has been opening up, and I know in different parts of the country, it's different places. New York, everybody's kind of masked up, but it's still, there's just a lot of motherfuckers here. Ooh-wee, there's a lot of people. It's just a lot of people. And that's why I think people are just more prone, and it hits so hard here that people really do mask up. And do try to not hang out in too many crowds. It's like whenever I see a crowd, I'm like, But it's bound to happen. There's a lot of motherfuckers. There's a lot of people. And we're all trying to figure out, or not even, I mean, figuring it out is not even it. It's like not figuring it out is the thing. is it's the walking away. It's the not even playing the game to it all. I'm looking at this plant. I had this fern that hung from the ceiling on a hook, but it didn't hang enough in the sun, so only this one, like 2 or 3 scrappy strains would hang out in the sun. But it was like this big pot with just like these 2 things of just, it's not even a fern, it's just a regular plant. But I like having plants around me. I got a snake plant and it's growing out of this Buddha's head. I don't know, I'll take a picture of it for you guys. Maybe post it up. Maybe that will be the picture for this week. See, yeah, and I got a new phone. I just got basically a new phone with all the new camera and everything. So I've been just upping my game, just getting everything kind of fell apart, but it's giving me an opportunity to find more of the basics and settle them in and get my, sorry for the burp. Those are those afternoon tacos. Well, they were yesterday's tacos, and it was just all this grilled chicken. It was seasoned in that taco season. But then I chopped an onion, and then I threw that in the frying pan with a bunch of avocado oil. I had this avocado oil. I put like a bunch of avocado oil in there, and I sizzled the onion. And then I threw the leftover taco chicken in there, and then I just grilled that up till it just like was sizzling. And then I made quesadillas with just cheddar cheese, and then I put that meat stuff in the middle. And then I bought 2 salsas the other day because I just been on this green salsa kick, and it's called salsa verde. It's green, but I got the Polo. You can get a big, I don't know what that, Goya, the one that everybody's hating on Trump for. But Goya sells big bottles of it for like $2. But I bought theirs, but it's not that good, man. It looks good. It looks like the super sauce, but it's not the freshy fresh. There's something, if you can get that fresh green salsa, whoever the taqueria is in there actually, I think they're like, they use these green tomatoes for them. That and like green peppers. I'll have to Google it up. If anybody's got a great salsa de verde recipe, email me at contact@robcantrell. I'm all about it. Mostly, I made all these quesadillas, these meated out, super bombed at leftover quesadillas. But then, mostly, all I wanted to do was taste that sauce. All I wanted to do was dip, because we didn't have anything else Mexican. You can't dip like a piece of bread in there. That's not gonna hook it up. I wanted like something Mexican, in a tortilla, like a quesadilla tortilla. When that's done right and you could dip that in there, boom, that is looking good. This joint is awesome. This strain, it's called Holy Grail OG. Look for this. Get it. Get the strongest shit, and then buy some CBD flour, and then grind both of those flours next to each other, and then roll that up in a raw paper with a raw filter, and then go buy a Synergy Gingerberry. Oh, man. Now, I've been into kind of berries. I staked out. I had some steak, and I felt bad today. Like, I've been eating a lot of, like, hamburgers and steaks. I just fell off. Like, I've been doing these, like, driving these long road trips here and there, and at the end of it, I've been rewarding myself with a hamburger. And I ate one the other day, and it felt like, it was the first hamburger I've had in months, and it really felt like passing a baby. not through my system, but in my gullet. Like, my gut reacting to it was just like, whoa. Like, I slept that night like a rock, and that's why I did it. But I've been kind of like, I had this like weird steak dish last night, and then I just ate this leftover chicken from yesterday. That's why I need the kombucha, man. I need the ginger. The ginger settles the stomach, and so does the cannabis. I have to say, I was feeling like, I don't know. And then doing the podcast on Thursday has a weird energy. It's like a celebratory day, but it's also like a lot of work, and a lot of things can happen, and like serious things seem to happen on Thursday. Like, it's right before the weekend pops off. Or you go right into the weekend and you just roll into the weekend. At this point, Corona, everything's a weekend. kind of. Like everybody's kind of going back to work, and stand-up is happening, and auditioning is happening, and the stuff I do in terms of submitting for writing projects is happening. But it's been hard to motivate and figure it all out. But I'm getting there. I'm kind of just like dropping things away, like things that I'm working on, books, clearing out. I want to just do subtle cleaning. Like there's this fan, and the fan has all this dust in it. Like I can let that ride for 3 or 4 months, like I have the last 3 years with this thing. But this next week, I'm really going to get some wet wipes, and I'm going to clean that bad boy, and it's going to hum. And this plant up here, it's been collecting dust. I'm going to wipe that down with a sponge. I'm going to clean that. I have a plate that holds the plant, and it's all dirty from watering. I'm going to clean that. I'm just going to get it down to the nitty gritty. In terms of what I got and what I need and what I'm trying to take care of and what the universe is throwing at me and what I do with whatever the universe throws at me. But I do think people want to go out, but I think it's going to be a little bit, I don't know, because then I read about vaccines and shit. In terms of music, what have I been really listening? A lot of Dead. So I got Sirius XM, so I'm listening to a lot of these old Dead shows, which are amazing. The Grateful Dead has a lot of depth, man. It's a lot of different years. It's like you'll hear a show from the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and they're sounding like a completely different band because they are, and the material has changed. But then again, it's still kind of funky, weeded out, psychedelic rock, which is always fun to listen to when you're driving. And it's not too intense, so you need something mellow. Like the more intense place, like New York, it's nice to listen to jazz or like sleepy beats or instrumental because there's just so much stimulation in the air anyway, And there's so much electricity and music and rhythms, and even an average New Yorker talking is like almost fucking listening to a rap song, Whereas, like, I was trying to make a point of, like, when you go out to, like, the middle of Indiana, like, that's where you get, like, serious hardcore death metal. And, like, the most dark is, like, the most go kill devil is, like, from the most, like, boring, all that's, like, from sweet, like, the most, the most boring, nice, serene situation. I don't know, I think music, people are playing with things that they're lacking in or something they find that's, like, oh, this is something new. With hip-hop, I think it's just a part of the city in terms of just a rhythm, a vibe. I mean, it's almost like talking. I'm enjoying the spliff so much. I'm not really pumping the fan, so the place is really, like, smoking out. Maybe I'll turn the fan on a little bit because I don't know, it's been a while since I just puffed up a whole spliff up in the joint. I don't want any alarms. I just got that sudden fear, like, oh shit, smoke alarm. I've never puffed this place out. That'd be funny if the smoke alarm did go on. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to put that on the universe. We want one clean, mean, rock and roll set. I've been lighting candles. Are you guys getting into candles? Not too much. When I meditate, it's good. But I did read something like lighting candles or looking at a candle helps your third eye. I think a lot of it's helping you stay in the moment, and it's like something natural. And it's something alive, That's why the plants are good. That's why I like being around plants, because that's life, and I'm life. And it's kind of like reminds you, when it's all just like not life, I don't know, it can get really sterile and lifeless. I don't know, more life is good. I guess that's why we like being in nature. In the woods, you feel a lot more alive. But a lot of that's just being more present because you're in a new surroundings that you're not used to. Once you get used to it, you get all numb. And then that's when you don't feel, that's why people like traveling, because they get all numb from wherever they're staying, and then they go someplace else, and it almost makes them be in the moment. Because it's almost impossible to be in the moment where they're at, because they're there every day. But if you focus, that's the idea of meditation, is like you're never there every day because we are something different. We're, organically, we're something completely different. Something in our brain is even completely different. And that ginger is doing good things to my stomach. A lot of it, I think I'm going to stand up. Stand up and get my chest out. Walk it out. I haven't been meditating, but I have been doing my stretches. I went for, I've been eating meat and I fell off. I swear to God, ever since I started driving, I haven't been as healthy. But I am getting healthier in other ways. I think I'm focusing more on my exercise. And in the last 3 days, I have been doing my 5 Tibetan stretches, the 5 Tibetan rites. They're 5 stretches. But now when I do them, I'm breaking out in this crazy sweat. And they're not that hard, and they don't take that long. But it really, I think it just works your core, and I hadn't been doing it, and I've been driving a lot, so I think I was all scrunched up. But I did it today, and I just sweated a ton towards the end. And it's not like this aggressive workout. It's so odd. But back to the candles, yeah, they do say it opens up your third eye, makes you more clairvoyant if you light one and kind of zone out to it. You don't even have to be high. Maybe that's why people like fireplaces and shit like that. A good fireplace is nice. That's what lighting the joint is. If you like fireplaces, because the thing about the spliff, it did just smoke it out. We'll see how. Now this room kind of clears out good. I have been getting back into the guitar. My music project has been hard to juggle, but I'm getting back into. So I'm not going to talk about any of those things, but just know that I am updating the YouTube and the Patreon, and we're working on a whole new layout for the Cannabis Coffee Hour. So please like and subscribe, tell your friends, call your mom, write in the comment like, yo, Rob, I'm high right now. I'm eating a turkey sandwich with deli mustard, like the crazy Grey Poupon fucking Dark Star type shit. So yeah, I've been doing the stretches, smoking the spliffs, doing the meditating. No, I haven't been meditating. I have been walking. I went on purposely, been doing the walking and smoking half and half CBD. And I'm switching up kombucha. And I've been good about drinking 1 glass of water with a slice of lime in it. And that does taste good in the morning, to tell you the truth. I know people do the whole vinegar thing, but the 1 lime, it's a little bit easier, and it actually tastes kind of good. I need to get some fresh limes. That would be something I want in the house, and I could do that, and they are pretty cheap. But I always want like 10 fresh limes. I'm not a big drinker, but if you could make a margarita with fresh limes, it's just sugar and like chopped limes, and you had some high-end tequila, you can make a really good drink. I might have a beer coming up here soon. No, I just drank that kombucha, but I think there's a little like molecule of alcohol in kombucha. I think it has some type of alcoholic thing. What is kombucha? Once known as the tea to immortality, kombucha is a fermented drink which origins dating back to 221 BC. This ancient elixir is traditionally crafted with a sweetened tea base and a live kombucha culture, SCOBY. During the fermentation, the SCOBY transfers the tea into bright, tangy, and naturally effervescent beverage with billions of living probiotics to support the digestive system and immune health. Whoa! I need to fuck with kombucha a little bit more. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, please consult with your healthcare professional. Yeah, if you're feeding any babies, that's how powerful this stuff is. So, this is just a lot of ginger, too, as well. I really like the Gingerberry. This has been a really cool episode. And fun episode. I hope that fan isn't picking up too much for you guys. But what kind of beats, what kind of music have I been listening to? Honestly, Toots and the Maytals, the lead singer, shout out, One Love. The lead singer of the Toots and the Maytals, I learned past. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I do have some jams, and they sound completely different than everybody else in reggae. Like, they have their own sound. Like, Bob Marley has his own sound, but Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, those are kind of in the same ballpark. Toots and the Maytals are out there and funny and kind of silly and kind of avant-garde, but also, like, kind of sincere and cool, man. Yeah. Shout out to Toots and the Maytals. So I've been listening to Pressure Drop. That's a really good song. Check out Pressure Drop. Yeah, there's something about spliffs and reggae that can just really calm your soul, especially during, the COVID stuff. And I think I see a lot more people. Yeah, there's a big story about acid. People are doing a ton of acid in New York City. I don't want to do any acid in New York City. I want to be out in the woods if I'm going to do some acid. I want to be in Vermont. I want to be in Colorado. I want to be at least in Yonkers. Maybe DMX will roll up on a four-wheeler. And we could pop some wheelies. I'm not into like motocross and stuff, but I do love seeing those like motocross street gang popping wheelies. I don't even like the concept of street gangs. I don't even like the concept of people riding motorcycles in regular traffic. But them popping wheelies and doing that in those crazy scenarios and then actually pulling them off is it's not that safe. I shouldn't be celebrating that. But I will say guiltily, I do get inspired. It's not, and it is scary, but I'm like, wow, that is crazy. I don't know if it's inspired in a good way. No. I'm just down to the roach right now. It's so enjoyable. Especially the roach is like, I don't know, it might go out in a couple, but it's like that lazy spliff. I love a good lazy spliff, man. Looking at the plant, thinking about photosynthesis. It is pretty crazy, Water, air, smoke, magic. Love, life, podcasts, there's just so much going on right now in terms of politics and COVID and fires, and my heart and my prayers go out to everyone. But also, what's saying to me is like, smoke a spliff and drink some kombucha and just slow down. I want to just clean. I just really want to slowly clean everything. Not even clean, like just slowly organize and tweak everything. Because I know what I got in terms of like comedy and what I want to do and how to do it. I just need to do it again and prep it better. And I could do that when I can get my home life really zen. So yeah, my big thing is working on these stretches, my vitamin intake. I've been pumping some stick figure. Let me think. Some Cool G rap. Check out The Streets of New York by Cool G Rap. That's one of the sickest. 9/11 was really heavy and deep, man. This year especially, there was something really, and being in New York, and I've been here since 2005, so 15 years. My wife is from here. My kid was born here. Like, I am a New Yorker in a lot of ways. But it was especially heavy. For some reason, people reflect on 9/11. I think it was just another hardship. And, no matter how hard this is, that was very, very hard for this country. And my respect and love goes out to New York. It's a funky, cool place. The park is awesome. I need to get back out there into the park. But the only thing is like everybody's in the park because nobody's working. But people seem to be going back to work now. Like everybody is doing the slow motion. And that's what it's all about. I just killed this kombucha. Like I would say, if you're gonna get one, the Gingerberry is bomb. I looked at it. It was my first instinct, and then I weighed out the others, and then there was another one that was just super ginger. And I know ginger; it's a spiky, strong taste. But I've been really into fresh berries, and this looked like a fresh berry. I know this company, and they're all about the juice, and I knew they would have some good juice. And I knew what ginger was going to do, but I hadn't seen the two made a good combo. And this makes a really good combo. Just like coffee and weed. Kombucha and Kush. Kombucha and Kush. Kombucha and Holy Grail OG spliff. With ground CBD, this Hawaiian strain. It must be, I don't know, it's a Hawaiian weed. I was looking for, maybe I threw it out. Like I just bought one spliff of it, and then I just took it out and then just rolled it with my regular weed. But it's really good CBD flower. So I got like Kush mixed with just really good CBD flower rolled up into a spliff. I'm down to, the joint has been perfect. I shouldn't say perfect, but amazing. It burned consistently the whole through. It was big, but not, you don't want it cartoonish big. Then it's just like way too much. This was like a little bit bigger than a cigarette at the very top and skinnier than a Marlboro at the end, Your total classic Jamaican spliff. I want to get back into this rapper Shinehead, who was like this dude that was, and I listened to him a couple times, but I remember in the early 90s, he was kind of popping on Yo MTV Raps. Like, he would be mixed in with a lot of the hip hop, but he was like reggaeton before there was reggaeton, and it was like really conscious and smart. So I need to check out Shinehead. I'm real cool. I chill to the max. I might act crazy, but I don't smoke crack. That was one of his songs. I don't know if that's one of his, that was like his hit. There's some other ones. I know he has like a deep catalog. I've been getting into the reggae on Sirius XM. They have a great station called The Joint. There on Sirius XM, I go from The Joint, and then I switch over to the Rock the Bells, and then I'll hit up Howard Stern. Then I hit Grateful Dead, and then I'll hit up Tom Petty. Yeah, that's the vibe. That is the vibe. Let's see here. Dang. I'm trying to get into my computer. So many damn passwords, man. Just let me in. But I don't know even why I got this on. I like talking to you guys. I want to say I thank you and I appreciate you. I'm sending you love right now. Whoever is listening, here's to you, man. This last hit of the spliff, here's to you. This has been a really fun episode. I've been getting into it. Let's see. The other song. Feel the pain of everyone, and I feel nothing. Dinosaur Jr. A lot of Dinosaur Jr. Check out Get Over It. That's like one of their later songs. That video is really cool. I want to do a video like that one. Yeah, we got some fun guests coming up. We're going to be smoking mad spliffs. I want to say thank you to everybody that's been a Patreon. Please support the Patreon. That's how I will be able to get a 420 friendly studio outside the crib, which is the ultimate goal, and to have a whole crew. But I've been learning all this stuff and how to do it, and a lot of it goes back to just keeping it simple and keeping it raw. Shout out to Raw Papers. Shout out to Raw Kombucha. Synergy, making it all happen. But we need to come together. People that are into this podcast, cannabis consumers, comedy guys, comedy people, positive vibes, freaks, geeks, nerds, studs, stallions, medallions, minions. Listen, sign up to the Patreon. Let's get this for popping. It is popping already, and it's already coming. But I want you specifically. You. I'm talking to you. I want you to sign up to the Patreon. If you got a little bit of dough, or even if you don't have a little bit of dough, it could be as better than all this like streaming service. I see what's out there. We can do so much better. But sign up to the Patreon, or don't. If you don't have it, not a big deal. But I needed to say it. It's a practice, so, let me say it. And I just love doing this podcast. I love cannabis. I love life. It's not as hard. You have to look at it. You don't have to look at it, but something I'm trying to do is not, just control whatever obstacle is. Just don't go on instant bum out or this sucks, or just like kind of play with it and look at it from a couple different angles. That's kind of the mode I'm kind of doing right now, is checking things out from multiple different angles, man. Yeah, the spliff is all done, man. The kombucha's gone to the very last few sips, but it's still got a little zest in it. I fixed up my hanging plant. I got a chain for it. That was a huge, I've been thinking about it for months, though. And then I did it. It got done. I got these fresh naps from the sandwich place. I like having fresh naps, this is like if you eat buffalo wings, like this is a little napkin, but this is great for stoners. This is a good stoner trick. This is great to like clean all your devices, anything that you're smoking out of, anything that you're using to clean your bowls with. Like, have this around your paper clip. This and a paper clip will get you through months of maintenance on your bowls and smoking. Shout out to this poke bowl. This guy's awesome. Check out this company, Poke Bowl. I've been using their ashtray they sent to me, and I've been using it nonstop, and I'm actually like, man, this thing is perfect. It's like the perfect ashtray, and I don't even use ashtrays. And I didn't even think I wanted this thing. He kept on sending it, telling me how good it was, and I was like, yeah, I guess, man. Okay, send it over. And then I ended up using it. So, shout out to the Poke Bowl people, man. Shout out to the seltzer. I was thinking about this, like, you know, I spilled a bunch of seltzer on my carpet. Like, what do you do to get out the seltzer? Do you just pour more seltzer on it? That could be a new joke right there, man. I don't know. I'll try it at one of these weird mics. I took my mask off, but I was like, I turned my back to the crowd when I talked. It was my move. I don't know. I don't want to do it too much. I've done 2 shows, and they've been weird, but very small crowd, very under the ground, very just like walking in the neighborhood. So it's almost like I spoke out loud at a bus stop type crowds. But very fun. But once we get this thing up and running, I'll start doing dates. Dates are starting to happen. And if it goes down, as they say, the viral load, or I think that's the terminology. Droplets is one that I've been talking about, dodging droplets. So at the show, I was just talking about dodging droplets, and everybody's just talking to the wall and shit. Because I was just worried about spitting some droplets, especially when I'm doing stand-up or I'm doing some. You can't do any hip hop. You can't spit on the mic anymore, man. You can't spit that hot. Get your 16 out of here, man. That is way too many droplets. Way too many droplets. You can't freestyle rap in public anymore, man. That's so many droplets. That's a machine gun of droplets. You can't do it, man. You got to do that in the shower. I'll leave you with that, everybody. Why don't you do some freestyles in the shower for your mom? And I love you. Smoke one love, one nation, one God, individual, for liberty, justice for all. Metallica. Peace to Bismarcky. All right. Love.